Hello, my Daily Fighters. My name is Jim, and this is your Daily Brogue for. Let's just go with the 22nd and see if I can get enough of these done. Okay, so I think the last time I was talking to you, I was saying that I'd, for some reason, written up a role playing game. The main reason why was. Let me just check this real quick. Yeah, all right. The main reason why was because. Oh, there we go. Um, oh, that sounds good. Other armor of reprisal. Anyways, main reason was because I was a little annoyed at what sort of D&D looks like online. Okay, so when you're playing online, I kind of get this feeling like I'm playing a board game rather than playing a role-playing game. That can have something to do with the dungeon master, but I think it has a lot to do with the different mechanics. It just feels more like I'm playing, a board game online. A little bit like I'd be playing maybe Space Hulk. So I don't know if they have they probably have a fairly new version of Space Hulk, but there have been computer games like that. That by looking at them, I know that they were supposed to be Space Hulk, right? Even though they changed their things a little bit, so it feels a lot like I'm playing something like that kind of game. Mm, maybe not exactly, but I mean a kind of sub-tactical war game. And so I figured that if fire immunity, could use that earlier. TC, no, I can throw D, right? Because I'm wearing that other armor reprisal. Okay, this is a ring room. Clairvoyance or awareness. I like clairvoyance a lot. Awareness is actually probably better in the long run. Um, so I decided to try to lean into something like that. And the first thing I did and the thing I designed the game around was sort of an impulse system like Starfleet Battles might have had for initiative. So rather than having different rounds or going in orders and stuff like that and having actions and bonus actions and, you know, three attacks at a time or whatever the hell it is that people are doing. It's a good rapier. +2 leather armor reprisal. Very nice. I decided that each action basically had some sort of time associated with it. Usually that time would be, let's say, 10. So each combat turn, let's say, is broken up into 10 impulses. Segments is what I call them. There would have been impulses in Starfleet battles. I think this one's going to be one. And to move one hex is okay, firebolt, door key, not a great teleportation charm. So we're not looking at anything amazing in this room. Doesn't mean the Firebolt 3 isn't better than anything in this room. And it is better than anything in this room. So poison or tunneling. Let's go with poison. Let's actually use these guys. L, mapping, and M, chanting. Okay. So I'm going to go with poison just so I have something for the acid mounds. Hopefully that'll be good enough. Okay, so that's the first thing. The second thing is the criticals. So for criticals, I chose to use dice. So rather than using a d20, which is very popular since Dungeons and Dragons use it, and of course they had the d20 license at one point. Okay, so entrancement, reaping, invisibility, teleportation, accent, scale mail. Reaping doesn't feel like it's important. Not enough entrancement. So let's use a wand of delay problem. Let's see how another L. Good rapier. Hasn't done anything interesting, but I'm 2 strength down. This is bad. Come on, dude. Spot. Okay, +3. Oh, D. The ring far sight. Maybe foresight would be better, since that's a real whip. So +3 rapier, unknown runic, so don't know, could be anything. +3, well, if it's already +3, let's help it out. So I use 3-sided or 3 6-sided dice instead of a d20, and for the most part, that doesn't do very much, right? Um, Means you want to be careful with using additive bonuses, because increasing one from a check increases in an average sort of check. It would increase about 10%, let's say, or so basically 2. Um, Nothing's first. We have a magic flail. So using these dice, it allows for a different way of calculating criticals, right? So I can just have criticals be whenever you roll a 6 on any of the dice, that will count as a critical. Let's throw the pink potion. I do tunneling of poison because I was worried about Passive values. They have to go that way. So just have to wait. So what you can do instead is sort of improve on the criticals. What did I see here? Black potion. Isn't the best way to do this, but it will work. Now there is a major problem with that. That is that the criticals. Okay, so the 3d6 is pretty blunt, right? But or 3d6 allows for a lot of criticals. But now you can just say, however, I'm going to do my criticals. I will just do it in a way that those first ones, the early criticals, multiplicity. So I have a strength or another copy. Tales of the ogres. You can always modify how you're going to do those. Identify the poison. Always calibrate those, right? Ooh, vortex. And calibrate the criticals. The way you do that is maybe give an extra die or a bonus when somebody gets multiple sixes. So if somebody gets 2 6s, what I was going to do is have it different. Um, tables altogether, but I decided it might be better to have tables that were, I think there are just some reasons to have the tables be tables from the ogre suit, scroll enchanting, apply P2 each. Okay. The same chart, and then just have you roll more dice. I don't like either of them, but I mean, think about it in terms of Shadow Dark versus Dungeon Crawl Classics, right? Shadow Dark is extremely vanilla when it comes to these things, and Dungeon Crawl Classics is extremely exciting. Partly because of the criticals and the rules that sort of have this strange unbounded quality, right? Tales from the Ogre Stew is about as popular as what is that thing called? The Arabian Nights Adventures, right? So the Arabian Nights more or less comes out. It's a compilation of. I have to come all the way over this way. Do I have? I don't want to do this. I think throw. Q is the one I want to do. Okay. And eventually those. Well, that guy's just chasing me, huh? No, he's wandering. Another gang, huh? Who's this guy? I don't know who Luz Hiragana is. I don't know if this is the best time. Doesn't look like it's the best place to do that for. 4X is good. Scale mail's crap. It's a yellow potion. YS. Sanctuary. And so some of this can happen with this impulse system that I'm talking about. And the impulse system, if I'm playing in person, it's pretty wonky. But if you already got a computer taking care of your initiative, your initiative order, it can actually you can probably get it so that you do a pretty reasonable job of another spider. Get it to do a pretty reasonable job of keeping track of initiative order and stuff like that this way, which would be which would be a good way to deal with it. But little things like this, you could easily have what would be sort of major problems and turn them into little knockback things that give you criticals by pushing people's next action back, right? And so that's the sort of thing that would be good for those light criticals. And then if you get more than one of these, you roll more than one, let's say, right? Or more than one potion of life. Let's see. What do I have? Nope. And I die here. Should have used the life. It was a scroll of teleportation. I could have gotten out. I should have just tried the scroll. Oh well, here's my wife making noises again. Bye now.